Arkansas Republicans believe that children aren't old enough to make decisions about their gender, but do think that they're old enough to go to work in the mines. I'm not kidding. A bill seeking to change child labor laws has passed through the Arkansas government and has now landed on the desk of Republican Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
USA, USA, USA.
Child labor, everyone. USA. That bill, HB 1410, would allow children as young as 9 to be hired to work without a currently required employment certificate, which would be accessible to the Division of Labor and the Division of Elementary and Secondary Education or local school officials. Their certificate in question contains proof of the child's age, a description of the work and work schedule, and the written consent of a parent or guardian. So, let's get this straight. Grooming children, in their words, okay, this is their words, grooming children into homosexuality and transgenderism by just informing them that those things exist. Bad. Grooming children from an early age to be cogs in the capitalist machine, but disposable cogs, by the way, that's totally fine. We love that type of grooming. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So now the sponsor, or I believe it's sponsor, Republican Representative Rebecca Burks, as well as Senator Clint Penzo, say that they proposed this legislation so that they could remove any inconvenience that parents could face in seeking their employment certificate that would allow children to work. You know, because parents are really, really excited about, sending their children to work, but that dastardly government getting in the way, making them apply for a certification. Right. They said that by streamlining the hiring process for 16-year-olds, which they consider to be key to meeting nationwide labor shortages. Gee, I wonder whether they're targeting children. Oh, right, because they don't think that children are going to fight back for fair labor practices or unfair labor practices. And restoring, they also, because they could pay the children less. So, understand what they're doing, right? Oh, we have a labor shortage. No, it wasn't a labor shortage. It was people saying, we don't want to work for peanuts. We can't live on the stuff, on the amount of money that you are giving us. We cannot live on this. Their response is, well, we're not gonna, raise wages. No, we're just gonna try to get more children to work. That's what's gonna happen. Oh, okay, yeah. So now they also claim that this would restore decision making to parents concerning their children. But wait a minute, a child could get a job without the written consent of the parent, and that job could be doing whatever. So how does this restore decision making? It doesn't. By the way, Republicans have been pushing to making kids clean meat packing plants. And by the way, there's also been an increase in migrant children ending up doing jobs in slaughterhouses across this country. So they can't wait to send children into slaughterhouses, meat packing plants, or wherever they can send them. It's amazing. They're obsessed with sending children back into the workplaces like they used to in the 1900s. And yet, at the same time, they're saying, oh, these children, they're just not old enough to make the decisions about, gender expression. Oh, and they're definitely not, old enough to understand any of this education. We want the parents to control their education so they don't learn about racism. We don't think they can handle it. But you can handle a work week. Maybe a 40-hour work week. There are no limits here. Obviously, these kids are old enough to be in dangerous and unsafe labor conditions. Look, in 2021, three young workers, teen workers, died in the workplace. Following year, 16-year-old boy fell to his death while doing roof construction atop a hotel worksite in Tennessee. This is some examples. Not old enough to watch a drag show. Old enough to climb scaffolding for his employer. Republican priorities. Newsweek also reported that many Arkansas leaders, business leaders, as well as child rights advocates, are actually against this bill. They've criticized it as an attack on the progress made in recent decades in protecting children from being exploited at work. And they fear that the proposed legislation might expose them to long hours or dangerous conditions currently prohibited for children under the age of 14. Alexa Henning, spokesperson for Sarah Huckabee Sanders, though, said, as quoted by the Washington Press, the governor believes protecting kids is the most important, but doing so with arbitrary government burdens. Parents to get permission for the government for their child to get a job is burdensome and obsolete. Yes, rules, burdensome and obsolete. Rules meant to protect children from being, crushed by a press in the workplace. Or end up losing an arm in the slaughterhouse floor. Where they happen to jack up the speed of the machines, of the lines in the slaughterhouse. To increase productivity. Now, she also said that all child labor laws will still apply. And we expect the businesses to comply just as they're required to do now. Yes, because, the companies, they will regulate themselves and they will comply to these laws. And we just don't have to check on them because we trust them. It's the honor system. Obviously, we know you're not going to just fire all the adults and completely try to staff your entire company with children that you could pay a lot less. No, that would never happen. Except that it does. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, 2,819 minors were found employed in violation of law and assessed employers with nearly $3.4 million in civil money penalties in 2021. So instead of cracking down on the companies, they're just like, let's just deregulate. So that it's not illegal. So we can just, hire all the children, make them all work. And by the way, this bill passed along party lines. All the Democrats voted against it. Majority Republicans voted in favor of it, with the exception of 3 Republicans. And they said, well, this will help young people get off their phones. Those young people, they're always on their phones. They're doing the TikToks and they're doing all this stuff. And we, we want to send them to work. Because how dare they be children and have fun? No. We're going to send them to be productive for someone else, to make someone else more money, which happen to be our donors. Why does everything have to be productivity? Why can't people be people? Why does everyone have to have their life dedicated to be productive to a capitalist, to a wealthy CEO? That's insane. Can't children be children? Can't people be people? Can we not allow humans to, can we have a society where we are not thrown into the grinder? That we're not expected, to be thrown into the grinder to do the Sigma grind set, making all the money for somebody else. No, this is insane. Okay? Insane. By the way, even the Chamber of Commerce in Arkansas was like, whoa, this is a little too crazy. Why do we not do that, okay? In fact, here's Randy Zook, president and CEO of the Arkansas State Chamber of Commerce. This is a corporate group. This is a business group. The biggest lobbyists in Arkansas for business, okay? Which includes the Associated Industries of Arkansas. Here's what he told the Arkansas Business. He fears that sending the children to work to get, so-called work ethics would come at a cost. He says that, I really don't want them to be prioritizing going to work over getting an education. He says their job should be thinking about graduating high school and not putting in hours at the factory or the job site. I actually agree with this guy. Look, getting an education is kind of a full-time job anyway, when you think about it. Yes, you should be prioritizing allowing the children to get an education, but also you should prioritize children being allowed to be children and not being bogged down with seemingly adult responsibilities, especially adult responsibilities like going to work. They should be able to grow, learn, play. That's the thing that children should be able to do. Now, one last thing. Do you think that, in the Republican plan for bringing back child labor, that it's going to be rich kids getting a lesson and getting a work ethic lesson by going into the workplace alongside the poor kids? No, that's never going to happen. You know that. No, this is for the poors. This is for them dirty poors. You see, you get back in the mines. And you better not get any funny ideas like workers' rights, high wages, or anything like that. No, we're going to send you in the workplace early so that you get groomed into the corporate culture. You get groomed to be a good little worker, a good little wage slave. And you make the CEO, you make our company as much money as possible while we give you as little as possible. That's the plan. That's what they want. You better not demand better. No, we're gonna get to you before you can get those funny little ideas in your head. From the social medias, from the TikToks, and the Facebook. Kids aren't on Facebook. Once again, these Republicans do not care about the children. The only thing they care about, really, other than the money, I guess, is to take society back to the 1900s.